Hey guys, Jess Hallock here. I'm going to show you the quick way that I've been curling my hair lately now that it's short, and it's totally different. When I had long hair, I was using a 1¼ inch curling iron, and it was totally different. So I have to switch to a 1 inch. It's changed everything, and it's holding amazing. So today I'm using the Babyliss Pro, but I'm using a 1 inch. I literally bought this like 3 months ago when I first cut my hair. I always used 1¼ inch, so that's new for me. And I'm using the Quad Dry shampoo. I don't like to put a lot in my hair when I'm curling it just because I feel like it weighs it down. We live in Arizona and it's very hot, so anything sticky you put in your hair just melts and weighs it down. So I only like to put a dry shampoo and maybe a texture spray in. So I'm gonna jump right in so I can show you how quick this is. So if your hair is shorter than mine, just run your curling iron through. Don't even try to really get a curl, just run it through and rotate directions. I always thought this curling iron was too small. And then when I had short hair, it was so perfect. And it literally was holding so much better. And then I started using it on my clients that had a hard time holding curl. And it was like night and day difference. I don't know why it took me so long to finally pick it up. But I just rotate the curls on the bottom. I keep the iron vertical just because I don't want my hair to look even shorter. And I feel like it looks just more textured and beachy. And I really do zip through this just because this Babyliss gets so hot. I keep it at the highest heat setting, but it's because I can move through it pretty quickly. If you aren't as comfortable, I would definitely bump it down to like the 35 mark. I have it at the 50. But it holds curls so well, you don't need to keep your iron in there for a long time. So another thing too, is I always pull my ends straight. I feel like that's really important to the look. I always tell my clients that you leave an uncomfortable amount out of the curling iron. So for me, that's almost 2 inches. For some people, that could just be 1 inch. But if you curl your ends all the way through, especially when your hair is short, it's gonna look a little Shirley Temple-ish. So we try not to do that. So I'm just rotating and I'm pulling my iron towards my face. So my section is towards my face, and then my iron is tilted out. And I feel like that gives me volume. This gives me more the look I'm going for. Anytime you over direct, that's what gives you volume. And anytime you over direct, that's usually means it's gonna last longer. I have found that my hair curls quicker with a smaller iron too, so that's been awesome. But every time I do this to my hair, you guys ask how I did it, so I was like, okay. A lot of people think I do it with a wand, and honestly, I don't use a wand that often. I am gonna make a tutorial with one, just so we have one, but I don't have anything against wands. They're just tiring. I can't do it. I like the curling iron because I can keep my elbows down and it's not nearly as tiring. Okay, I finished section. Where are we at? 3 minutes? I mean, really. I have 3 kids. I can't spend forever on my hair. I will say, when you're first learning how to curl though, it's gonna take a few times to get fast and get comfortable. So just because you see me zipping through it doesn't mean that's the expectation. If anything, if you've never used a curling iron before, turn the heat all the way off and just practice the motions, just so you're not stressed about, frying your hair off. But key things are to always keep it vertical. I do this unwrapping motion, especially with the 1 inch. It makes your curls a little bit skinnier, but I really, really like how it looks when it's finished. And I do remember to rotate every single time. And this technique you can totally use on long hair too. It's just when your hair is short, it's one of the better techniques to use because it just gives you a better result and it lasts a long time. And my hair was about 2 inches shorter when I first cut it, and at that point, this was the only iron that would really even get in there and make it curl. So this has been my new favorite. This is also the iron that I like to use when I do my waver curls because it makes a really skinny, tight curl. And it just lasts a really long time. if your hair is naturally curly, I always see people try to like straighten their hair first before they do a curling iron, and it's so unnecessary. I tell my clients to just let your curl be like the body foundation of all your volume, because like my hair is super flat. Yes, it's thick, but it's flat, and so I definitely don't straighten my hair before. But also, if you straighten your hair before, like the day before, and then you try and curl it, it is not gonna hold nearly as well as if you just blow dried it straight and then curled it. These curls should last you a couple days, and I'm really, really confident in that. Even those of you who live in humidity, it is a totally different ballgame. But, oh, another trick, if you're living in humidity, because I went to China for a week and I was so lost with like how to make my curls hold, how to do my hair, because it was so darn humid. But every time I would use like hairspray or even a texture spray was too much. I had to stick with dry products. So a dry shampoo, a dry texture powder. Unite makes one called Expandadust. But a dry shampoo that isn't powdery, but is just, it absorbs oil, so it's gonna dehydrate your hair. So if there is like moisture in there, that you don't want, especially in the air, then that is ideal. But my hair held 10 times better when I did that. Okay, so most of the time I tell you to curl your hair all back. With shorter hair or beachier hair, you've got to still rotate on top, but stay as close to your root as you can, because you really are just wanting, it's so silly, but you're wanting like that texture right on those corners, just to give it the volume and shape that you want. I really feel like it's small, but it makes such a difference. And people are like, I just can't make it look like that when I leave the salon, and what did you do different? And it's those little things that when I don't do them, I'm like, gosh darn it, why didn't I just pop a little curl in the opposite direction? I know what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, I do 2 back on either side because I do want it back, but on this third one, I always curl it forward. And if anything, it's a smaller piece than what I was taking everywhere else, but just that little bit of rotation gives it some oomph, some volume that I was looking for. Oh my gosh, it's coming together. I have a client that's on her way, and I was like, I have got to bust this out because I can't go the whole day without my hair done. So I'm really proud of myself. I did it. We're gonna beat the clock. And I love all your guys' feedback on these tutorials. It really helps me to tailor them better to you guys, because I'm a certain hair type, but remembering to give you guys tips if your hair is curly or just difficult texture, you need those bits in there. Okay, so if I had another like 5 minutes on here, I would completely let my hair cool off completely. My front is cool, but my back is not totally. Either way, this is still fine because that iron holds it so well. So I prepped it with the Aquage Dry Shampoo. I'm gonna finish with that as well, but I'm just going to run my fingers through it, just like this. I love the volume that I get with this. I love it. Now you see why I get so many compliments on it. It just makes it look super full, has lots of volume, and this relaxes just so pretty over the next few days. It just gets softer and softer, and that's why I said curl really close to your head, because it's gonna start higher and then it's gonna fall over the next few days. And if you have watched my YouTube channel, I have a video on how I sleep with my hair, how I prep it before I go to bed, just so my curls last as long as possible and it doesn't get oily. So I'm gonna finish off with my texture spray, or dry shampoo. I am a pretty simple person, so I don't do a lot with product, but this does just the trick. Let me know if you have any questions. I love it.